Can you hear me now? I think this should work. So give me a thumbs up if you can hear me clearly. Welcome to Live Planet. This is the first of many, I hope, that we're going to do. It's going to be a casual chat with all the guys that we know, and some we'll meet online now, who are working in the field and working with animals and wildlife. And we're going to begin with rescues. So let me see if the hero of the show today is on or not. So yeah, thanks for joining in, guys. It's good to see some familiar names here already. We've got many moving parts here. There's a laptop, there's another setup. So if things go wrong, bear with us on the first one, and we'll try and see how it goes. We'll try and improve it. Great, thank you for the thumbs up there. So this is a light and fun, entertaining conservation show. We're trying to get you up close and personal with people out in the field, like I said. And today's hero is Karthik Satyanarayan, the bear man, as he's often known as. Let me see if he's here now. I'm going to just switch, and boom, technology works. Hey Karthik, can you hear me?
Hi, Gautam. Great to hear you.
Awesome, amazing, great to see you here. How's it going?
How's the lockdown treating you?
Pretty good. You're making me skip to the banned list of words that I've come up with, the words which we won't use, but I'll tell you that in a minute. So we're going to do it differently, because first we were going to call this session not another live session, because I have them coming out of my ears as well. I'm kind of like done with these talking heads. So we thought we'd really try and turn it on its head, and try and make it a bit more fun as well as informative, and try and create engagement with the audiences out there. So for those who don't know Karthik, and I would assume there are few, Karthik set up Wildlife SOS 25 years ago, right?
That's correct. Yeah, in 1995 is when I established Wildlife SOS.
Wow.
With a co-founder, Station, and yeah, it's taken us a hell of a long time to set it up, but it's been a lovely journey all the way through. Establishing the organization, challenges in the beginning. I came from Bangalore to Delhi to just help bears at that point of time, and all I wanted to do was try and make a difference. I was a young, extremely ideological guy, and so I'd go out there, drive the ambulances at night. That was my stint at volunteering. All through the night I was in ambulance duty, rescuing animals and snakes and stuff like that. That's how it all started.
Wow, amazing, yeah. 25 years. And Wildlife SOS is at the helm of all rescue and wildlife. I mean, dancing bears is the big one, right? Where you notice this huge issue. I mean, it's amazing how we all get desensitized to seeing stuff around us, when we grow up with stuff. And that was a big issue, and that's the big success story. I think that's what put Wildlife SOS on the map.
Absolutely, yeah. What we saw shocked us completely, and every single big major tourist attraction had these people who would take these bears, these endangered sloth bears, tied up to the end of the road and walk them around on the streets, begging and trying to make a little bit of money from tourists. It was really quite shocking and horrifying. But what was even more frightening was that every single bear on the street that we were seeing was taken from the wild as a young cub.
Wow.
And that was really frightening. Imagine what that was doing to the wild population of sloth bears in India. And so our ultimate goal was to try and ensure that poaching of wild bear cubs stopped. That had to be put an end to.
Yeah.
The most pragmatic, sustainable, practical way towards that solution was to try and work with the community. It was a minority, nomadic community, they were gypsies primarily, nomadic gypsies who moved from place to place. And they were in about 10 or 12 states across India. So we really had to work gaining their trust,
Sound is not fixing
making
it.
sure that they had alternative livelihoods, helping the children go to school.
It's
These were
happening.
all the gaps in the society. I mean, they had some practices like child marriage and things like that that they had to deal with. So as we worked with that social community, brought in social intervention. They were initially extremely frightened. They didn't trust us at all. They would chase us out of the villages. But we eventually gained their trust, gave them alternative livelihood, and we rehabilitated 3,000 families, rescued 628 bears. And I'm really happy to say that it's taken decades, but when I look back and see that we've been able to bring an end to this brutal and barbaric practice of dancing bears, while also ensuring that the endangered sloth bears stay safe in the wild. At the same time, the communities also received a lot of support from us. I think we've sent over 7,600 children to school.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Never have to exploit wildlife ever again or beg on the streets.
It's really cool. So, you are the beard and brain behind Wildlife SOS, right? As it began. And also, thank you
I
for.
don't have as long of a beard as I would like. I would like one of those really big ones, but yeah, I've not had much luck with that.
Cool. So we'll just do another sound check. Can everyone hear us out there?
No, the volume is very low and we can't hear Karthik at all.
Oh, there's volume is very low. Karthik, can you turn your mic volume up somehow?
I can bring myself closer.
Okay, let's
If
do
that
that.
helps.
That would help. Say something.
I can see the elephants on the other camera. They've just come to the river, so
I think that should work.
that's it. I'm quite distracted by that new other camera.
Yeah. So that's something we're going to do. So hang around. Don't leave yet, because we are going to go live to Agra, where the Elephant Conservation Center is, and we'll see elephants doing their thing in the river. So yeah, thanks for.
Your sound is low.
Hmm?
Your sound is low.
My sound is good. There's a lag. So, I think it should work. So thanks for following the What's Your Drink. So what we're going to do with this series is we're going to ask everyone what's your drink. So Karthik, what's your drink?
Oh, I wish my drink was more potent at this time, but at the moment it is one of my favorite drinks. It's a strong,
Oh, that's a good start. That's a good start.
South Indian filter coffee.
Strong start, weak finish, but coffee is great. So yeah, I've had the coffee at your house, and I've forgotten the bhaiya who's there who makes this absolutely perfect cup of coffee. It's like it just kind of fills these whatever my soul is lacking. It's like one of those.
Can be a very powerful drink, much more potent than other beverages. What are you drinking?
Well, I might disagree. It's refreshing. Plus, it makes me feel good, I think. Beer. Well, so, the original thought about doing all of this in this interaction with you was because of the whole baby bird season. And I've just been obsessing about baby birds, thinking about them. And I got a couple of calls from people who found baby birds but didn't know what to do with them. So, there is some rescue stuff that I have of yours, which I'll put online. People can see this. There's a barbet, baby barbet that was rescued. There's some bigger ones. There's a flamingo that you have now, right?
We just rescued it. Yeah, hopefully we'll be releasing it very shortly. We're trying to locate a suitable flock that we can integrate it into. And there's been reports of two flocks that we've seen in and around Delhi area. So hopefully we can get the bird out there soon.
Wow. So, what happened to what is happening to birds during this time?
No, this is, I think this is a great time of reprieve for all of these birds because they don't have to compete with human beings, at least out there. They are probably, finding parks desolate and empty and are delighted at that opportunity.
Mm.
There's nobody here, nobody who can, drive me away, nobody to chase me away.
Yeah.
But what is happening, unfortunately, is people are also not realizing that when they find a baby bird, this is baby bird season. So very often, there can be strong winds, um, and storms, trees fall and nests fall with it. So do the chicks. And these nestlings can sometimes be on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And people find it, they want to help, they have the best intentions, but sometimes, by giving it the wrong kind of diet or keeping it the wrong way, they end up not being able to help that bird as much as they would like to. So, I have some pointers about that. We can
Yeah.
discuss that, maybe after we meet the elephants.
Yeah, let's go to the elephant. That's a good point. So let me switch our view to Agra, and it should work. It should have worked.
The video is frozen, so
Maybe
maybe
that's
if
why.
you can reach out to our team over there and tell them to just unfreeze it.
Hmm. So I think we lost connection with them. Let
Oh,
them.
okay.
Let them
Well,
hold back.
it's it's in the middle of the forest, so it's a very remote area. It's by a beautiful river,
Yeah.
and so we just have to try again, and hopefully we can connect to them.
What river is that you have there?
Pardon?
What river is it next to?
Believe it or not, it is the holy Yamuna,
Really?
as we call it Jamuna Ji. And
Oh.
yes, normally she can have a fair amount of muck in her because all the cities believe here that they can pollute, they have a right to pollute. But the lockdown, I think, has been such a relief for rivers and oceans alike.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
The
absolutely.
air is clearer, the rivers are cleaner, so our
Yeah.
elephants love having a dip in the river, and they enjoy it, they revel in it.
Cool.
And if we can get that connection, we can actually
We'll do
see
that. But in
the
the meanwhile, if anyone has a baby bird, or if you know anyone who has a baby bird, this is the time to get onto this live session, ask some questions in the comments, and we'll try and help you out, sort you out, let you know what's the right thing to do if you find a baby bird at this point. So the list of banned words which I wanted to tell you for this conversation. We're not going to say COVID. We're not going to say go Corona go. We will definitely not say the new normal, and we won't say climate change. Climate change puts me to sleep also, as important as it is, but that's a different show. So while we wait for the elephants, let's see a trailer to that. You guys have a rescue series on now on Nat Geo Wild. Oh no, we can't hear you, Karthik. Let me unmute you. Yeah, go on.
That's correct, Gautam. We have a TV show on National Geographic Wild. The channel is called Nat Geo Wild. It's about the work that we do at Wildlife SOS, all of the different kind of rescues. So it's currently airing. It started premiering a few weeks ago. There are 6 episodes, and it shows our team on the ground working on a day-to-day basis, rescuing everything from crocodiles, snakes to leopards, and providing treatment and medical care to tigers and bears and things like
Amazing.
that, and birds and stuff. So it's a it's a great way to create awareness about the incredible biodiversity wealth that we have in India,
Yeah, yeah.
while at the same time showing people that each and every one of us can make a difference. All we need to do is be compassionate and care. Care for nature and be kind to her creatures. And that's all nature wants. Animals just want to be left alone.
True.
And sometimes of course we need to intervene, help them, and then get them back to safety. So yeah, that show has been a great success. I think we've been getting some very interesting feedback from the viewers.
Yeah.
So it's on Nat Geo Wild, and I think they might read on the entire series again. So hopefully people will get a chance to watch it.
Watch
It's
it again,
also
yeah.
currently airing across the US. It's gone around 138 countries.
Oh wow, wow, wow.
So I think people around the world have learned to see what India has in store. Hopefully, that will also help, encourage people to come to India when the current pandemic madness is over, and people start traveling, they can visit India and see the beauty of nice country.
Well, I've got the trailer right here, so let's check it out.
Across India, they risk their own lives
This is the danger point. We should get out of here.
to save the animals.
There we go. Okay, we got him. Time is of the essence.
Expertise, dedication,
Little boy, calm down.
and kindness.
When a new elephant is rescued, we always welcome her with prayers.
Follow the Wildlife SOS team of their selfless mission.
Just a little bit of love and you can change an animal's life forever.
Jeep presents India's Jungle Heroes, powered by Amazon on Nat Geo Wild.
Oh, Karthik's turned into a font. Neat trick, Karthik. How you do that? But we have elephants. But they're landscape. Mridul, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Could you go? Oh, there we go. Awesome. Let's see if this works. Ah, technology, it worked. Karthik, could you be a little louder as well? Wow. This is like a victory. I'm getting way too excited about this. So this is the Elephant Conservation Center. Karthik, tell us about this.
Well, as you can see, this is a view of the Wildlife SOS Elephant Conservation and Care Center. It's really literally 2 hours from Delhi. And the river that you can see in the background is the Yamuna River. And I think we have our manager from there, Mr. Naresh, who loves the elephants. I think he's here to talk to us. Hi, Naresh.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Namaste, as everyone does.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir.
Thank you. Have the elephants had a great time in the river already today?
Elephant just finished their food, sir. Now they just went to inside the water and they are coming, and I hope again they will go in the water. They're playing
How
in
is
the
the water doing? How is the water? Do you see any difference currently? The quality of the water?
water is just now clean, sir, because of people are not coming to the river. So water is very clean nowadays.
Would you
Yes,
say
because
that the pollution, the lockdown has reduced the pollution to the river and that's what's happening?
Yes, sir. I feel because of the lockdown, the water is very clean now.
That's excellent. And behind Naresh, you have Maya and Kali. Am I correct, Naresh? Oh, what are they doing now?
Just dusting, sir. They are bathing with the dust now.
So guys, you can all watch Maya and Fulkali as they have what we would call an powdering. You know, it's a fine dust bath that they're having. This is usually a post-shower or a post-bath ritual for them. So they've already had a lovely dip in the river. Unfortunately, the technical glitch we missed that view of them playing in the river. But hopefully we can do that again in the future at some point of time.
Yeah.
They absolutely love the river, and then they come out and do this. And both of these elephants have been rescued from extremely pathetic backgrounds.
Amazing. Mridul, is it possible to get closer to Maya or whoever's closer to you?
I can't hear you, Gautam. Could you be louder, please?
Or is it possible to get closer to Maya or whoever's closer, just to see her? So
There you are, you can
so is this Maya or
see
which one is
the
this?
Gorgeous, magnificent animal.
Wow.
It's lovely to see these gentle giants, as I like to call them.
Really, it's like dinosaurs are still alive. It feels like that to me, you know.
Biggest mammal on this planet.
Absolutely. So what is it like to rescue the biggest mammal on the planet? How do you do that? How do you convince the biggest mammal on the planet that it needs to be rescued?
I mean, how do I convince the elephants that they need to be rescued?
Yes.
Well, it's hard to convince them that they don't need to be rescued when they're both of these elephants have been rescued from circuses, and you can imagine the amount of trafficking they've been subjected to in the past. And One of them is blind. Fulkali is actually blind, the elephant that's behind Maya.
Oh, really?
And the amount of trafficking that goes on. India has a huge black market where there is a lot of trafficking of wildlife, illegal trafficking of wildlife. And as all of you might know, the illegal wildlife trafficking industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
And it's only second next to gun running and those kind of things. And therefore, apologies for that. And therefore, it's really important for us to step in and stop that. And so our goal at Wildlife SOS is to stop the trafficking of all wildlife, including elephants. So how do these elephants get here? We have to rescue them, of course, with assistance of the Forest Department. We work closely with the Forest Department and rescue them from illegal ownership, traffickers, and places where they've been held in illegal captivity. In some cases, the Forest Department confiscates them and hands them over to us. But in this particular case, the elephant that you're looking at now is Fulkali. She's blind. She was in extreme distress. The owner had no documentation. So typically what happens is they're captured from the wild illegally as a calf and then brutalized. It takes several months of brutal beating and training to make a wild animal like an elephant trained enough to carry people on its back, tourists on its back, and things like that. So that's one thing that I always request everybody who's offered an elephant ride. Please think about it. Why is a wild animal allowing you to ride on its back? Do wild animals do that? Would we do it? So it's really important to think, and very often the stories we get are lies. So in fact, to combat that, we've created a resource website called Refuse to Ride. So people out there, before they jump on an elephant's back, you can actually go to refusetoride.org, www.refusetoride.org, and learn about what the true facts are. The truth is ugly, it's not nice, but you will certainly know how that elephant is being trained, why that elephant is getting rights over there. And at the Elephant Conservation and Care Center, this is what the elephants get to do. Wander around, forage, go to the river, have dust baths. So this is a center where these elephants get conserved, protected, and they get a lot of medical care. We also have an elephant hospital.
Wow. Awesome, man. Amazing to see that. Thanks, Mrudul. Now we'll get back to our baby birds, my current obsession. See you, Maya and Fulkali. Thanks, Mrudul. Bye.
Thanks, Naresh. Thanks, Mrudul. Bye.
Thanks, Naresh also. I forgot he's there.
They're just going again in the water again.
Oh, they're going in the water
again.
Let's see that. Let's see that happening.
This is actually, if you look at Maya and Fulkali getting into the water again.
Do elephants fart a lot?
I'm sorry?
Do elephants fart a lot? Like gorillas? I was reading this thing with one sec. Because I was watching this video where gorillas fart like crazy because they're just eating tons of food, like elephants. So
Have a lot of flatulence. Yes, indeed.
flatulence, yes. That's true. So while we watch, this sounds wrong. While we watch Maya bathe, 10 seconds to know Karthik is what I thought we could do. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. Just respond to them. They're all easy questions, Karthik. Lubricate your throat. There we go. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a bunch of cities: Bangalore, Bombay, Madras. Primarily in the south.
Have you grown up?
No, I haven't decided what to do when I grow up.
Yeah, we know that one. Okay, have you ever been upset because an animal ignored you?
No, not really. It only taught me to work harder to get the attention, and very often that problem occurs with baby birds, and I have a bunch of birds that I care for, And very often they'll just turn away and say, well, no, I'm not having that. I don't want to eat broccoli because it's healthy and boring. So I have to find an alternative way to convince the bird that it's got to eat broccoli. So,
Cool. Chocolate or vanilla? Huh? Chocolate. Okay, cool. Boots, chappals or nange pav?
to be honest, I like, barefoot. I love to be barefoot. But yeah, otherwise I choose boots.
Oh, Mridul has gone. Okay, so let's get back to our.
Elephants have taken a walk in the bush, so
And what makes you angry? Or most angry?
I get most angry when I see wrong things happening, and I see people being abusive to animals. That really riles me up.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that also rubs me the wrong way. I mean, just kind of enough to hit someone, I think, sometimes. And if you could change one thing about our planet, what would it be?
Make everybody compassionate and kind. I mean, if I could, because if people are thoughtful, then they would understand how generous Mother Nature is by giving us everything. There's nothing that we have that she has not generously provided us with. But yet, people don't ever pause to think about giving back. It's all about take, consume, I want more. But people need to stop and pause. And I think this pandemic is a great time for people to realize that it's time to pause and think about that. Let's give back. Let's think about being a little bit slowly, less materialistic about the environment, about nature and her creatures. Let's be kind. Let's learn to respect our neighbors. Our neighbors are not just people. They're trees, plants, forests, insects, reptiles. Every single thing out there has an important and vital ecological role, and people don't tend to realize that sometimes.
True, very true. There's a big disconnect. And incidentally, today is Bird Migration Day. What do you think about all these days that are always planned? There's like a day for everything.
Well, I think it's great that people get an opportunity to focus on one thing, knowing how distracted we are and how many distractions people have all around us. So I'm glad there are days that people can focus on some things, but it's got to be more than just talking about it.
Yeah.
People have to really use that as an opportunity to be reminded that we've got to be careful and nurturing about the birds around us.
I find that that's become a bit of a thing. Like, I mean, because of just doing that little bit seems to satiate more people than not. If that makes any sense. Like, you feel like you kind of done your bit and you don't need to do any more. Do you think that's a real thing, or am I just kind of I've got lockdown fever?
No, you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people think, okay, been there, done that. I've liked something on social media for Bird Migration Day or International Tiger Day or whatever, and moved on. But they really need to pause and say, well, what have I done to help birds, or what have I done to I mean, the least they can do is put out a couple of nest boxes in their apartment or their house, leave a bowl of water. These are really hot summer days that we have.
And not a steel
A small bowl of water in your balcony, your porch, your garden would make such a huge difference for these birds. And just top it up every morning and evening.
Yeah. And in the shade
Some
and
seeds
not
as well.
and not a
And we're
metal.
talking about incredible amount of biodiversity and life that would be grateful for just a little bit of water.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's jump back into the baby birds. What would you say are like the top 5 things someone should do if they find a baby bird?
Well, if they see a baby bird fallen on the side of the road or something like that, or on the ground, we've got to understand that it's likely to be a nestling which has fallen out of a nest, And that could have happen from a variety of reasons. A strong gust of wind, a storm that has knocked the nest out and the baby bird has fallen. Now, baby birds can be very challenging to look after and care for. So the best solution is to return the baby bird to its mother or to the nest if we can. So I would recommend and urge everyone, don't try to be in a hurry to move the bird away. If it's not in the middle of a road, of course, if it's in the middle of the road, move it right away. But look around you. Where is it possible that this nest or this baby could have fallen from? Is there a nest nearby? Ask around. Look for signs, vital signs, like adult birds constantly calling and looking around and things like that.
Yeah.
And find the nest. Do whatever you can, get assistance, and reach out to organizations like Wildlife SOS to come and help. We have a hotline as well.
Yeah.
So we would come and help you put the bird back in the nest, but you could do that too. And if all of that fails and you can't locate a nest or a parent bird to return the baby to,
Yeah.
then the best option is to then try and use a piece of cloth or a handkerchief or something like that to wrap it up in, pick it up and put it in a spacious box, and then you've got to keep the baby bird warm. But
even in this heat,
cautious about you've got to remember there are thousands of species of birds, and they have a variety of diets. And so feeding the wrong thing the wrong way to the wrong kind of bird could be disastrous. So please reach out to a local animal shelter or a bird rehabilitator or a wildlife rehab center if you have one, where you can get advice. There's a lot of advice on the internet, but sometimes that could get misinterpreted, and like I said, you could feed the wrong kind of diet to the wrong kind of bird. There are some special bird formulas. This is what my go-to is. I've got this baby bird food, and this is made specially
could you
for
hold it a
baby
bit there
birds.
because I'm kind of blocking it.
This works quite well, and if you're in an area where
Can we see it again?
you have a lot of, pardon?
Can we just see that again? The thingy? Let me disappear.
And order one and keep it. And if you can't get access to this,
Yeah.
when you don't get baby birds that often, you can make your own formula. There's a recipe for it, and you can use that.
Cool. Is there a recipe online, or is it hard to do?
Well, it's pretty simple. You can use about 100 grams of rice. The rice with the husk.
Okay.
Kind of run it through a food processor or a mixie, as we call it. And then 100 grams of moong dal and 100 grams of chana dal. We need to get some protein into these baby birds.
Okay.
Run them all and then sieve it. So you get a fine powder.
Okay.
Once you have a fine powder, mash maybe a small piece of a banana up really nicely and put this powder in and mix it up till it becomes a nice, fine, very gooey consistency kind of fluid. And then use a syringe with a tube at the end.
Okay.
You can probably find it in an IV set or something like that, a piece of tube that you can attach to the end of a 5 ml or a 10 ml syringe. Do not try to force the bird to eat. Just try and put it at the edge of the mandible or the beak and see if the baby bird is accepting it.
Okay.
And usually baby birds are always too eager to open their mouths and accept food because that's what they're trained to do. And the mother is constantly flying back and forth from the nest to feed the baby birds. So usually that will work, and hopefully the bird will thrive, flourish, and you can set it free in a little while. There's one thing we must remember though: baby birds that are fostered by human beings lose fear of things associated with people. That could be fatal for them. So when you release the bird eventually, you've got to remember this bird might come back towards people or see people not as a threat. So it might approach people, it might come into a sidewalk or into a house. So we've got to be careful about that. So it's always good to not imprint the bird too much And the minute the bird starts eating on its own, then try and get it to do that. But of course, we can talk about this all day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can connect with your nearest organization. Feel free to contact Wildlife SOS, and our website is www.wildlifesos.org. You could also contact our hotline, which is 98719633535 if you're in the Delhi NCR region.
Okay.
And I'll repeat that number again, 98719633535.
Let me see if I can even put it up. With the power of technology.
Or we'll follow it up with
Yeah.
the post.
What is it? 98
719
719
63535.
63535. Okay.
Shane has put it on the.
There we go. Hotline. I think that should show. Awesome, man. Thanks so much for making time for this. And what's next for Wildlife SOS? Do you have something?
We've had a whole bunch of rescues going on through this lockdown. Every single day. Yesterday we've had a bunch of calls. This morning we've already had a call from a priest in a temple not far from South Delhi, where there's a monkey that's very badly injured or electrocuted.
Oh no.
And so our team is already there trying to rescue that animal. So this is a rhesus macaque that we're talking about. But yesterday I think we got a bunch of snakes, several black-headed royal snakes, sand boas, rat snakes, and
Wow.
stuff. So yeah, we are super busy, but it's hard because our manpower resources and our vehicular resources are severely constrained. So it's a challenge to work in these difficult times.
It must be challenging. I mean, I can only imagine. And then do you often get to hear, हमने तो बुलाया पर वो आए नहीं.
Indeed. Yeah, this morning, in fact, the priest from the temple called me and he said, I have already reported the monkey to the hotline, but, I'm really disappointed they haven't come yet. And so I said, well, how long ago did you report the monkey? He said, about 18 minutes ago. So I was like, we really don't have a helicopter at this stage. You've got to understand and bear with us. And our team has been working all night rescuing snakes and other animals.
Yeah.
So you've got to give us time to get to your area. And very often what happens is people are impatient. They want the vehicle right there at that moment, right now.
Yeah.
And that's not possible always.
It's not
Because
possible.
the vehicle is somewhere else. We only have 2 people on the team. They're rescuing another animal.
Yeah.
So, and we can't choose
Yeah.
which ones to do. We try to prioritize the ones that are more severe
Yeah.
and where the chances are that people will kill a snake or a bird or something, and where it's more of a crisis.
So is this hotline the kind of place where I could call in and maybe, do first aid for, a bird or even an electrocuted monkey, like before help gets there, whenever it does? Like, could someone guide me and say, well, give it water or don't do this to it?
At this moment, we don't yet have that because, again, like I said, we are short on manpower.
Yeah.
So the hotline is working with a skeletal team of just 2 people at the moment.
Yeah.
And we're having to organize everything. But normally, yes, under normal circumstances, somebody could guide them on basic first aid and what to do. But even now, if they do call and report a snake or a bird or something, our team will advise them on basic care so they can at least ensure the safety of that animal, bird, or reptile until the team gets there.
Well, that's awesome, man. And the other one that I hear often is, or if I forward the hotline number, Wildlife SOS details to anyone, is they ask, will they charge anything?
Well, we don't really charge for rescues, but we always encourage people to make a donation because we are a non-profit charitable organization, and the only way we can afford to run this hotline and help animals is by is thanks to the generosity of the people. So if people contribute to Wildlife SOS, then it enables us to continue to help animals out there. And so, if people don't contribute, then it takes away our resources and makes it even more of a strain on the charity.
Yeah.
And so, we always request people to give what their heart can afford, more than anything else. And that's my request. In fact, even now, I would urge everybody watching this, if you get a chance, please think about the fact that these animals out there are having a hard time during this lockdown. We also have thousands of birds, animals, and reptiles in our care currently in our rescue and rehabilitation centers around India.
Thousands,
We have
huh?
300 birds,
Wow.
over 30 leopards, a tiger, and nearly 30 elephants in our care at the moment as we speak.
Wow.
And of course, maybe 3 or 4 thousand birds as well.
3,000-4,000 birds.
Yes,
That's crazy.
and we need to provide care for these animals. So, administering medical support, medical care, and food supplies for these animals and the staff who, at this difficult time, are staying with the animals instead of going back to their families. They've chosen to stay here and help us care for these animals. So, we need to take care of these animals and people and the staff that care for them.
Yeah.
And so, please consider making a contribution. It's very easy. Just go to wildlifesos.org and go to donate. And it's also wildlifesos.org/donate. If you just go to that link, it'll take you there and give whatever you can. If you can make it a monthly contribution, it makes a huge difference to the animals in our care.
Let me type there, wildlifesos.org/donate.
/donate.
Okay. Here we go.
Thank you, Gautam.
Hey, oh, it's sliding sideways. Here we go. Yeah, I know donation is small, man. Let it be 100 rupees.
Anything, any donation is really valuable to us, and we appreciate everything because it makes a huge difference to those animals in our care.
Yeah.
And we've just got to remember that these people work around the clock. Our team is working around the clock, coordinating these rescues. In fact, yesterday we've been also dealing with an elephant that was in Mast. There was a crisis in a remote part of Uttar Pradesh. So we've been coordinating with our team of vets and the forest department. So it can get quite challenging to join these dots.
Well, amazing, man. Well, thanks again for the great work you guys are doing. And it's been fun growing up with you. Paddle, you out there in the field, me trying to make films about the kind of stuff you guys do and talk about that and do my little bit. And watch us gracefully. And as our choices of beverage differ, and then maybe join later at some point. We'll see where that goes. But this was fun, and this was episode 1, and I thought that, you were the first name that came to my head, that the first episode has to be Karthik, and hope to do more with you.
Likewise, and everyone out there, and Gautam, you and Dole and your baby, please stay safe. Everybody stay safe and stay home, and continue to be friendly and compassionate and caring towards the planet and towards the animals and birds around you.
Cool. I'm glad we didn't use any of the banned words, even when you said the safety thing. All right, man. Cool. Thanks. We'll catch up soon.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Okay. So that was it. It went.
Are we off? Are we offline? Just make sure we're not still online.
Karthik, are you in the room? How would that happen? So yeah, well, thank you guys. In case any of you seen my knee popping up like that, I am wearing shorts. Can look odd on on a live stream. So yeah, this is episode 1. Thanks for sticking around, whoever did. Went well enough in spite of all these moving parts. Episode 2 is in the making. We're going to try and figure out what and whom to speak to. We would want it to be a weekly, but do post in the comments about any feedback you may have, what worked, what didn't work, what you'd like to see, and check out wildlifesos.org, and hope to see you again next time. Thank you.